Hello all. I am going to demonstrate how to first quickly upgrade the RAM and then access the boot drive in the 6800 Pro 6-bay uGreen NAS. So I've already taken the drives out, and of course I'm disconnected from power. Highly recommend doing that. So we're gonna first start by taking the little RAM door off. And that involves taking these two screws. Then this pops out right here. One of the things to note is there's this little spring here, and that's gonna become quite a challenge for us later on. So it comes with the standard 8 gigs of DDR5 SODIMM, I believe. I might have to correct myself. The next step is actually to take the feet off. So the feet, the first time I took this off, it was actually quite the challenge to get them unscrewed. They're in there pretty tight, and everything seems to have the blue standard of Loctite, which is good because then you're not going to get any screws rattling loose from the hard drives moving around. So both of these bays here are the extra NVMe slots, and they will fit the full-size 2280 SSD. So the next step is actually to flip it on its face, so you get the back side here, and then there's 6 little dots right here that keep the screws from being seen, and they are quite a pain to get out. I have found that using the knife and poking and then just pulling up takes them right out. And then you do not have to take off the fan grill, but I found it pretty easy to just kind of give a little pull on the... I haven't unscrewed the screws yet. Make sure to do that. Unscrew the screws before you try to pull it off. And then just pop this off. And it is kind of a little tight because the magnets there kind of connect to this as well. So we put that to the side, and then there are 4 screws right inside the pocket here, and we're going to take those out. And then you're gonna take and lift up on the shell. And you remember how I said that there was gonna be an issue? The spring has to be pressed down, and there's a little bit of a lip there that it kind of fits into. So just be cautious of that. And then it should just slide right up. And so we're gonna go with the PCI add-on card. So it is only a 4x, but you just pop that screw out and then put your card in. So you can pick kind of what type of card you want to put in there. There is no extra power, so you cannot power a heavier duty graphics card if that's what you were hoping for. Now, to get to, this is the boot drive with OS on it. And the first time I had taken this apart, I was kind of hoping that the screwdriver would actually fit in here that came with it, but it does not. It fits in there, it's just too far away. So we're actually going to, on the side of the case here, there's these 4 screws, 2 on each side, and we're gonna go ahead and pop those off. And it is a little bit under pressure, so it may move like that. But then you should be able to take that, flip that up like that, and see there's our little spring. And there's the screw for the NVMe. And I'm going to leave it as is because I'm going to be running this operating system. I may end up upgrading later. I'm not 100% sure. The board is using what appears to be a ATX 24 pin. However, I'm pretty sure it's not standard power, so you can't really replace the power supply. It's probably running a bunch of 12-volt lanes. I'm not sure. But as you can see, it is actually pretty simple to replace that drive if you have a little bit of know-how to do so. So now we're going to reassemble it. And it does appear to have a, if you wanted to do a half card, it does appear to have a mounting hole for that NVMe spacer. It does give you quite the possibility to upgrade or, you know, add on what card you want if you don't want to run that. I mean, true NAS can be booted from a flash drive. So if you wanted the extra storage space, pretty sure you could go ahead and pop that NVMe out, put a 8 terabyte drive in there if your heart desired. Use that as a cache. Again, if your wallet allows. Now, one thing I should note once that's done, I usually just take and just kind of let that sit there, so then I don't have an issue putting the sides back on. Now, these fans, I believe, are 90mm fans, and they are normal thickness. So if you wanted to upgrade to a quieter fan, like a Noctua, you could probably do that. If you wanted to throw some RGB in there, you could also do that. And it is a standard 4-pin fan connector, so it is a controlled. And we're gonna go ahead and slide that right back down. And then one of the things I was actually kind of disappointed in, but not overly, was the fact that there's two USB 2.0 connectors there. I guess for mouse and keyboard. But I mean, with 3.0 being out and the transfer speed between that, I mean, why not? One of the major selling points why I went with the 6-bay was because of the 10 gig NICs. We've had single gig connections on LAN for the last 20 years, and I could not see justifying buying a 4-bay or a 2-bay that only had either gig or 2.5 gig because, you know, cost to, I don't like to use the term, but future-proofing it to where, you know, if you need 10 gig, you got 10 gig. And with that much storage space, with the possibility of having 182 terabytes of storage, then yeah, you kind of want faster speeds than a gigabit per second. One of the first things that I did yesterday was I transferred a TV series of mine that I ripped from 4K Blu-ray from a hard drive from my old NAS setup directly into this using a dock. It did recognize the dock and it recognized the hard drive, so that was nice to know. And it transferred the data pretty fast using the standard 3.0 port. And I know it only transferred at 3.0 speed because that's what the dock is rated for. And unfortunately, this screw over here, the plastic piece that holds it to the bracket, to the case, actually has broken off, so this screw is just kind of in there. So you'll just have to be careful not to over tighten these screws. And then these little gap things have holes, so you know which way is up. Yeah, see, like I put that one in upside down. There we go. And then we're gonna turn it back up on its back. Put the cover back on, but before we put the cover on, we need to make sure the spring is there. Otherwise, it's kind of painful to get that cover off. We're gonna put the feet back on. And I do kind of want those a little tighter so the feet don't wiggle around and scratch the bottom of the case. Thanks for watching. I hope that was helpful. See you in the next one.